Hey, what's up and welcome back to Anime King 2 guys, and today I'm going to be giving you part 3 of What If Naruto Became the King of all the symbiotes. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other series over the other channels. Over Anime King 3 I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto Was a Secret, Child of Mikoto and Minato, so go ahead and enjoy that guys. I also post a brand new episode of What If Naruto Had Madara's seal inside of Map Bird, so go ahead and enjoy that as well guys. I also post a brand new episode of What If Naruto Had the strongest Kikitoda over an anime prince, so go ahead and enjoy that as well guys. If you're new, yes, I did have 4 channels that I post What If on every single day for you guys to enjoy, so go ahead, click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Making family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me. For new, I'll be planning talking about to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say we jump right into this new episode? Begin now guys. So the last time we left off, it took a barrage of Hokage's envoys to hell that transformed Naruto down as he had transformed into Venom. Danzo had watched the whole scene with a gleeful smile on his face, as he found it truly fascinating. Hiruzen had brought Naruto back to his office. However, first he had to speak to the council, as he told them that the thing that was wreaking havoc was taken care of. He could not tell them that that was Naruto. They already hate him for the 9 tails. To find out about this would be like putting a bigger target on his head. He arrived in his office to see Payback, the Venom symbiote female, as she was basically naked. So yeah, it was a lot for the old man, until she told him that they are coming. Their empress, the queen, is coming, as she is the strongest one other than Naruto, who had the original Venom symbiote inside of him, as she was coming to speak to him. Luckily they want to talk about a peace treaty between them. However, Payback gave him no information about where the Venoms are located or anything else. With that, she left. Hiruzen had spoken to the council as he told them everything about preparing for this important figure arriving at the village, so everyone got ready and prepared. The time finally came as there was a gigantic creature. It looked like a symbiote, however was gigantic, as large as a monument, as it came in the village. As 3 individuals are on top of the head of it. It seems the Empress was one of them, followed by Payback and another. Arriving there, they came down as a creature and made its way back. As they spoke to the Hokage, they want some time to explore the village first, before they got down to meetings. Koharu wanted to raise her voice, however, one of the symbiotes almost cut her head clean off, as they should never disrespect their Empress like that. So with that, the 3 women made their way. They also had some strange artifacts with them. That seems rather heavy, however they moved it without no effort. Later in that night, the 3 girls were watching Naruto sleep, as Empress had checked him over. The seal was preventing him from fully merging with Venom. However, the process will begin soon, and it would enhance him to a different degree. However, they just have to wait. The next morning, which was Naruto's birthday, Hinata had got up as she had prepared the special ramen for Naruto for his birthday. However, Naruto was going crazy as he smelled something delicious. Arriving towards the training ground that was empty, Naruto saw there was a box there, as the box was marked for him. However, he couldn't care less because his senses were going overload. Ripping open the box, Naruto opened to find chocolates. So much chocolate, as the cravings were so much as Naruto dig down and swallow almost everything in the box. When he arrived to the academy and spent time with Hinata, he felt full. However, he could not tell her that because he didn't want to hurt her feelings. She went all out of her way to make this ramen for him, so he decided to just eat it there, as he thanked her. With that, he made his way home. As Naruto was going home, he ended up bumping into someone. As he was Empress, Naruto started to fret as he realized these were the important people that were at the village. If he ever caused them any mishap or anything, his life would be on the line for it. As Naruto bowed his head in apology, however, they asked for his help. That surprised Naruto. They want him to help show them around. As Naruto decided to help them around, with him by their side, the villagers could not do him anything, even if it was the festival of the fourth Hokage Hyuga. On the other note, something else was happening, as there was a family and their son was taken over by a strange creature. He had rushed out of the house. The parents were unable to follow him because he was so fast, as he was found by a bandit, who proceeded to mock him, the leader that is, until he came out of his cocoon of sorts. He revealed himself to be Anti-Venom, as he proceeded to slaughter and kill them, absorbing them and swallowing them. A masked creature of death and destruction who go by the name Anti-Venom, and it was looking for venom. So yeah guys, basically that's what I thought. You guys can switch across the play, check out for yourself, and don't forget to go ahead and check out the other what ifs over the other channels, and I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. So yeah, without further ado, what if we jump right into this new episode begin now guys. Naruto was a bit uncomfortable as he led the three women back to his house. He had explained to them that he needed to change into his festival outfit that old man Hokage had given him as a gift. He had never had a chance to wear it before because he didn't want it to be destroyed if the villagers attacked him while he was at the festival. Luckily for our hero, the women agreed, as they also were going to change into their outfit as well. The fact that he was going to have such important people inside his apartment was only half of the reason why he was so uncomfortable and nervous. The rest of the reason was because of the creature hovering near him, Empress, and the silver robe figure, the one who was named Payback, had given him a short lecture on the creature. It was an ancient being called the Metroid. He was told that it was the last of its kind, and it had been surviving for 1,000,000 or 1,000 years. The creature somehow survived by draining some unknown energy from its victim. Empress said that no one has been ever able to find out what the energy is, but without it, the victim dies. Metroid drained the unknown energy and other body fluids from the pincers on its underbelly. It is then absorbed into the nuclei inside of it, and it helped it grow. The Metroid hovered closer to Naruto as they got close to his apartment. Suddenly, the thing moved and slammed into his chest as Naruto had grabbed onto it. Naruto was afraid, thinking that it was gonna... Wait. It was cooing and snuggling up against his jacket. Both Empress and the woman in the silver robes giggled at the look on his face. The other woman did not show any sign of mirth or emotion at all. It appeared that the baby has found his new daddy, the silver lady said, as the Metroid, now known as Baby. The Metroid snuggled closer and let loose another cooing sound. Was Naruto replied as he looked back towards them confused. We will explain when we get to your home, okay? The silver lady said with a giggle, as she then stepped forward. Come to mommy, baby, she said. As Naruto felt a tinge of pain as he watched, the Metroid now known as Baby flew towards her arms. That's the way she called it. It was the same way the mothers in the academy called to their kids. He had heard it a lot. However, that was never said to him before. As the silver lady stood up, helping Naruto up, for some reason she was reluctant to let go of his hand. But after a bit of struggling, he was able to get his arm free, not making it look too like he was struggling though. He could have sworn that she was disappointed that he got his arm free. Weird, he thought to himself, as Naruto led them upstairs and held the door open for them. After the three of them enter, along with the creature, Naruto closed the door and turned to meet his guests. All three of them were staring at him with an unsettling gaze. As Naruto unconsciously took a step back, wondering what the hell was going on. Why were they all staring at him? Suddenly, the woman dressed in a black and purple robe dropped a yellow, organic matter out of her left sleeve. The goo flew past Naruto's head, and the door was solidified, as Naruto could not open it. What the hell is going on? Said Naruto as he went into a defensive stance, quickly trying to remember everything that Guy and Aruka taught him. Naruto, Empress said, as she and the other women lowered their hoods. The woman in the silver robe had blonde hair kept into a ponytail, with blue eyes with a hint of green. Her eyes were looking directly at him, giving him an uneasy feeling. Why do I feel so violated? Naruto thought to himself. The one in the dark purple robe had 2 pigtails, as her hair was dark pink. She had light blue eyes. Her face looked just like Hyuga's, emotional. 3 bright red jagged lines were on the left side of her forehead. The woman in the royal purple robe that was in front of him. She looked like she was tired, her face like she hadn't slept in weeks. Her dark blonde hair went down into her back. As Naruto looked at them, "Why don't you have a seat?" Empress said. Naruto did not comply as he stood where he was. As Naruto's eyes scanned over how to escape, just as his eyes scanned towards the window, another yellow glob hit the wall and covered the window. "And please do not try to escape," Empress said. "We really don't want to have to force you to listen to us." "Listen? You want to talk?" said Naruto. Empress nodded her head, causing her antenna like here to bob. "Yes, we just want to talk, and we want you to listen." "Fine. I will listen to what you have to say, but if you try anything funny, we're gonna kick your ass," said Naruto. "Girls are not." As he made his way towards his couch, as they form a triangle-like position around him, "Allow us to introduce herself," Pinky said. "We are Marka Luabi." Slowly, golden tentacles came out of her sleeves and coat that fell to the floor and wrapped around her body. Naruto wanted to run or at least cover his eyes as she had gotten completely naked, but something prevented him from doing so. It was like he was being commanded by some higher authority to stay where he was. He never noticed Empress slightly twitching. The tentacles finally came to a rest. A smooth, yellow humanoid was standing there now. She changed from 5'7" to 6'3". Her fingers grew and ended in sharp claws. She was still flat-chested, but he could see her lungs pressing out. Another pair of lungs seemed to be forming on the skin of her back. The 3 red lines grew from her forehead and twisted into 3 red blades. It was like a fan windmill right at the side of her head. Her hair grew a darker shade of golden, as her mouth seemed to just tear open. The golden flesh just seemed to tear into a smile. Monstrous fangs could be seen. Her eyes melted away to reveal eyes similar to Payback. However, they were more sinking in her head, as she stood there like nothing just happened. As Naruto was visibly shaken, she just turned into a monster right in front of him. Nothing had terrified him more than seeing this transformation. Not the beatings, not the mobs, not even that one nightmare he had of Hinata turning into a giant she-demon and whipping him. "We are the symbiote, known as Revenge." As Empress turned her gaze towards the other one, who was looking far too happy. "We are Samus Aran." She dropped her robe as silver and blue tentacles covered her body. Her transformation was more controlled, smooth and liquid. "And we are the symbiote Payback," she said, as her chest was right in front of Naruto Baron. As he could not take his eyes away from them, she noticed him looking. His eyes caught sight with hers, as she seemed to wink a bit at him. "Do you like what you see?" she asked. As she raised her chest up, "Do you want to touch them?" Naruto's face was almost melting off because of how red it was. As Naruto's hand started to twitch by itself. "Don't be shy," she said. "Here, we'll help you." 2 tentacles shot from her forearm and grabbed Naruto's hand. His hand moved forward, however. Her chest seemed to split open into 2 pairs of mouths. Naruto jerked back in surprise at 2 mouths that appeared in front of him. As she released his wrist as he ended up falling off the couch, as Baby zoomed down towards Naruto and hovered over him. As Payback started to giggle as she looked over, looking down towards Naruto. "Sorry there, Naruto," she said. "That normally happens whenever we get excited." As she reached down and took Baby. "It's okay, Baby," she said. "Daddy's okay." As Baby wiggled free, it decided that Naruto dish fill sink was more important than this conversation, as it went over there. "As you should know by now, we are the hosts of the Symbiote Empress. We go by the name Annette Birkin. And you are the host of the Great Symbiote, Lord Venom," she said. Meanwhile, Harrison was rubbing his forehead. Just a moment ago, 3 men arrived, as they had an urgent message to see the Hokage. When the 3 men was allowed inside, they were all yelling at once. The head doctor then said that he wanted an audience with the Hokage as well. He sent the 3 men outside to cool off. After a while, he decided to call them back in. Finally, they were back in the office. Calmly this time. "What is it that you have to tell me?" he said. The man in the middle stepped forward. My son was covered in this white stuff." Harrison almost pulled out a file for pedophilia while hearing that. However, the man continued. "The stuff was like a body bag or something. It just covered my son. He wouldn't move or react in any way for a while, and then the man had to stop and hold his mouth, as he seemed like he wanted to puke, as he swallowed hard before he continued. Then he started to shake and twitching like mad. Me and my wife could hear us groaning. It was horrifying. It looks like he was trying to break out of a straitjacket that was made of his own skin. Then his body split open and he grew legs. Then he just walked out of my family's home. Before Harrison could ask for any useful more information, the others said that they saw it too, and that the men were telling the truth. Harrison silenced them, as he asked them what did they want exactly. They wanted a mission, as the man wanted his son to be found. After the information was sorted out, they were led to a hotel to stay for the night, as the doctor was let in. What is the problem, Harrison said, foregoing any formalities. He was not in a good mood today. Well, Hokage-sama, there's a problem at the hospital, the doctor said. I guess that much, Harrison said. What kind of problem, he asked. Well, after you issue room 3012 off limits, things have gone to hell in a handbasket. Please explain, Harrison said. Well, I have lost 3 nurses, 5 patients, and 1 of my best doctors. Add on to that, the door of 3012 had become somewhat screwed up. As he reached and pulled out a sheet of paper out of his pocket, the door is covered in what appears to be human skin dripping in blood. Ever since I lost my staff, no one dared to go near the door. I would greatly appreciate if the Hokage himself was to check out this bizarre situation. The Hokage agreed to look into it later. He had a feeling that Lady Empress was somehow involved in this. Back with Naruto. Do you understand? Empress said. For the past hour, the 3 women explained to Naruto what he had become. Oddly, Naruto was able to accept what he had become rather quickly. And he now had 3 tentacles, black ones, sticking out of his back, waved in her own. As Naruto just accepted it, like he had known about it all of his life, but his eyes were finally open towards it. Yes, Lady Empress, we fully understand, he said, as Empress' antenna here twitched a bit. As Naruto got to his feet. So, are you 3 gonna change? The 3 women nodded as they made their way inside Naruto's bedroom to change, not out of modesty for themselves. As Naruto learned, the symbiote hosts is in no need of any clothing, as the symbiote kept their body temperature regularly. As Naruto made his way towards his closet, it was a plain black festival yukata. As Naruto quickly changed into it, he sat on the couch as he played with Baby until they finished change. All 3 of them came out of the room though, wearing yukatas that were similar to the robes that they were wearing. Now we're ready, Samu said, with a giggle. As Naruto was soon walking outside with Annette, Samu to his left, and Marta right behind them. The 5 of them, Baby included, made their way towards the festival. Except for the ninjas out on missions, or the ones watching over the repair for the entrance were there. Everyone else was there. As Naruto was shocked, he had never been to any kind of festival before. The lights, the lantern, the stands, the smell of overwhelming food, everything. As Naruto was about to bolt over towards one of the stands until Samu grabbed his hand. How about we all stick together, she said, looking towards her leader. Agreed. Payback. It's correct, Annette said. It would be safest if you stuck around with one of us. We wouldn't want you to eat all of the villagers before we make your offer, now would we? She said to him. No, Lady Empress, said Naruto. I will not jeopardize the plans for the great symbiote horde. We apologize, he said. Excellent. Now then, we would like to visit our daughter before we meet up with our future meals, Empress said. Time skip. May we see our daughter, Annette? The Empress asks, the bored out of her mind receptionist at Konoha Hospital front deck. The young lady looked up from the magazine that she was reading. Yeah, sure, whatever, she said. You know where it is? Yes, Annette said, and with that short discussion she made her way throughout the hospital, making her way towards the stairs. She looked around, making sure the coast was clear. Her hair then went straight up and latched on before pulling her straight up towards room 312. Annette was used to hospitals after the horrible accident that befell her daughter. She had turned part of the grand mansion that was her home into a hospital, so that she would be able to stay near to her beloved child. It did not take her long to find her daughter's room, as she saw the blood and the human skin. Despite the human skin twitching, she did not look fazed by that as she reached out until she stopped. She then turned her head to the left. How long are you planning on standing there? As someone stepped from the shadows. Danzo, she said. Ah, it seems my fame precedes me, Danzo said, as he looked towards the woman. I wonder, how did such a beautiful woman like yourself become the leader of a bunch of body snatchers, he asked. She withdrew her hand from the handle Do you really want to know? She said, a sweet smile on her face. Oh yes, please enlighten me. I know for a fact that he stopped as he thought for a moment. Lord Venom, was it? Is much stronger than you, yet you're the one in charge. In my personal opinion, that's a bad idea. The strongest should always be in charge, he said. She chuckled lightly. You truly are an old fool. And why is that, Danzo asked. The power of an individual is not always measured by a force they put behind the punch, but also by how they can influence and control the crowd. Do you think I don't already know that, Danzo said. I've been on the Konoha Council for years. I know how to manipulate people. Do you really? She said. How are you so sure that your root won't just turn on you? How do you know that your loyal followers will be loyal tomorrow? She replied with a sinister chuckle at the end. I have had an entire squad of Yamanakas dedicated to maintain my loyal root members. He practically shouted he did not like to be questioned by anyone, especially a body-snatching slut from outside this wonderful village. And how are you so sure that they won't betray you? She said. Her tone was light, and it just seemed to piss him off even more. However, he kept his composure. Might I ask you the same? How does a weak woman like you keep her subject loyal? Not by fear, I assume, said Danzo. Of course not. We use a more effective method of gaining loyalty from our kind. You have said that already. You also said you would tell me what you do to gain that loyalty. And like we said earlier, you are a fool. No great leader will ever tell someone of their secrets. But I thank you for telling me yours. Brainwashing is such an inferior method of control. But to each their own, we guess. Now Danzo was pissed. Annette turned back towards the door and turned the handle. I am glad that we had this chat, mommy man. She then walked into the pitch black room, leaving Danzo standing there. Danzo clenched his fist. My ninjas will find that carnage symbiote, and then we will see which method of gaining loyalty is inferior, said Danzo, as he walked away from the oozing door, making his way down the hall. Meanwhile, Naruto was having a wonderful time at the festival. Throughout the few hours he has been there, not a single villager had attacked him. In fact, they stay as far away as possible, probably because of the two beauties that he had with him, and the weird creature that was hovering over his blonde head. They still whisper rude comments though, but he paid no mind to them. His mind was only focusing on the goldfish game that he was currently failing at, as he had a pack of broken hoop papers next to him, as Samu was next to him, as she watched as he got frustrated and frustrated after every loss. His eyes struck a single goldfish, not too big and not too small either, as he lowered the scoop that he had, the paper scoop not touching the water yet. Suddenly he scooped at the fish. As he was about to place it in the paper bag, however, the paper scoop broke and the fish fell back in the water. Damn it, said Naruto, as baby chuckled above Naruto's head. The owner of the stand was practically in heaven. Normally he would have avoided the child like the others, however, with the amount of money that Naruto was losing, well, he didn't really care. As Samu, finding it rather adorable when he was frustrated, seeing that face that he made. Across the street, another girl was watching. Who was that near her Naruto-kun, smiling and laughing? It was none other than Hinata Hyuga, as Hinata was on the other side of the street, hiding behind one of the booths with her two best friends, Tenten and Ami. When Tenten became the teammate of Hinata's cousin Neji, the two had slowly become friends. The friendship was cemented when Tenten gave her the copy of How to Catch Your Idiot Boyfriend magazine series. Ever since then, she has been trying to help with Hinata and her non-existent relationship with Naruto. And the reason why she became friends with Ami was because neither of them could stand Sakura Haruno. Ami couldn't stand her because, well, she was popular with the other boys, and her grades was better, and her father was not an idiotic drunk, and her forehead was too damn big as well. And Hinata didn't like her because Naruto also paid some attention to Sakura as well, which made Hinata hate her. Since they share the same dislike for the Haruno, why not become friends? Who's that with my Naruto-kun? Hinata thought to herself, as Tenten was currently flipping through a book. What's that thing above his head? Ami said, as she wondered if she was the only one seeing that creature flying above him. As she watched babies zoom around in circles, her eyes focused on the creature. However, Hinata's eyes were focused on the blonde that was getting closer and laughing and even touching Naruto's shoulder. Tenten nodded, agreeing with Ami because of the thing. However, She wasn't paying that much attention. They saw Naruto finally succeed as he placed a fish into his water bag. With that, they took it as he left the stand, as Hinata and her friends secretly followed after them, and they hid every time they turned around to look. "Where did Marta go?" said Naruto as he looked around, realizing the other symbiote host was missing. Samu simply shrugged. "Who cares? All that matters is us. You and baby are having a great family evening." As Naruto turned his head, his cheeks becoming a bit red. As Samu saw it and smiled. Since Naruto has never had any family, the thought of having one with them, well, it was a wonderful idea. However, suddenly, baby screeched out. Samu's head snapped around so fast. As Naruto turned his head as he saw baby coming over, with a kunai embedded in its little body. As baby flew right into Samu's hand, crying. Samu's head snapped up as she heard laughter. The laughter was coming from the other side of the street. Samu moved so fast, Naruto swore that he saw an after image. She came to a sudden stop in front of 3 young Uchiha, who appeared to be Naruto's age. "Which one of you little bastards attacked our baby?" Samu shouted loud enough to catch the attention of practically everyone on the street. The 3 Uchihas looked toward each other. One of them smirked and he stepped forward. The disgusting smile that he wore was a common sight on all Uchihas for the past few days. Nobody was sure why, however the clan had really stepped up in being an asshole. "It was me," the kid that stepped forward said. "That thing was just so small and moved so much, it practically screamed target." He chuckled at the end. The other 2 Uchiha laughed as well. However, something grabbed him by the collar so fast, his eyes barely registered as he was picked up in mid-air. Samu had grabbed him with her hand so fast, it was shocking to the child. As Naruto finally caught up as he saw the look on Samu's face, and he knew that she was going to do something, as baby flew out of its mother's arm and went over and nuzzled against Naruto's shoulder. "And what made you think attacking our baby was a good idea?" Samu said. Her grip tightened around his throat. However, the arrogant look on his face did not falter. "I'm a Uchiha. I can do whatever I want," he said. A smirk came on her face as she lifted him higher, before she brought him down. Bang! She slammed him in the ground with tremendous force. He cried out in pain as he held his head. He glared up towards her. He was about to say something until her left hand had turned into a long blade that was pointed right at his throat. The crowd was not surprised after all. Ninjas could do rather amazing things. "You know, we haven't had a decent meal in ages." Her lips parted to show many fangs. The Uchiha eyes widened as he saw them. "Would you like to feed us?" she asked. The boy started trembling in fear. Until, "What is going on here?" The crowd parted to reveal none other than Fukaku Uchiha, followed by his 2 sons, his wife, and several other Uchiha members. Because the Kyuubi festival was such a big event, Fukaku had made sure the Uchihas were there to celebrate the victory that the Uchihas had no part with. Samu reverted back to normal as she turned. "This son of a bitch attacked my baby," she said. "Look," she said as she pointed to where Naruto was holding on to baby. "As you saw the weapon," as baby whined in pain. The crowd was shocked, most of the female population, as baby sounded rather cute, not to mention, giving a wicked look. It seemed like a small little animal that just wanted to play. How could anyone hurt something that cute? However, the Uchiha leader looked towards the child on the ground that she had thrown so roughly, and he said a word that further infuriated Samu. So, he said to her. Claws and fangs ejected as she threw herself towards him, ready to rip his throat out. Itachi Joy's blade in a flash as he flashed in front of her and blocked her weapon. As Fukaku or the other Uchihas did not move, Itachi was a pride and joy of the clan. However, Itachi was baffled as this woman was pushing him back. However, suddenly, baby screeched and flew out of Naruto's hand. Samu grabbed onto Itachi's hands. He tried to break free but he could not. His Sharingan flared to life but it was already over as baby latched onto his face, its claws wrapping around his head, and there was a weird sucking sound that could be heard. Samu released her grip as Itachi screamed, his weapon dropping out of his hand. The weapon in baby back fell out as the wound healed itself. So that's how baby feed, Naruto thought. However, as the Uchihas tried to stop it, baby was in full control of Itachi, using Itachi's body to move and dodge all of the attacks. Eventually he jumped away, As Itachi collapsed down to his knees, his screaming stopped. As baby released Itachi, before flying back over toward his mother, Itachi collapsed face first on the ground. As Uchihas rushed over towards him, as Samu looked down towards baby and stroked him. Baby forgives you, she said, as she bolted away. As Naruto looked towards and ran off after her as well, the three stalkers going after them. When Naruto finally found her, she was in the alley. We're sorry, she said, not looking at him. We normally don't overreact like that. As she held on tight to the baby. Tear rolls down her cheek and splashed on baby. But we lost our baby once already, she said. Our baby, our beautiful child, was obliterated right before our eyes. More tears start to fall, and it hurt. It hurt so much. To watch your child die right in front of you and not do anything to save it. Do you have any idea how helpless we felt? How much we wished that we had died instead? As she started to openly sob. After a baby was killed, we lost all hope. We actually planned on ending ourselves. Naruto was shocked. He had just met Samu hours ago, but she did not look like the type of person that would take her own life. That was just a rather big shock reveal to him, as he didn't expect that in the slightest. But she continued. We met Lady Empress a few hours before our planned suicide, and she offered us a way to give back our child. She spoke of a way to create a true clone of baby that existed from the pieces. But we had to swear our loyalty. We agreed without any hesitation. She was going to give us back our child. How could any mother say no? We were given the payback symbiote, bonded, and baby was returned. And we do not regret anything. Empress has been such a wonderful leader, returning our child, giving us payback, a host, and giving us a home. We owe her our life and so much more. She was still crying, but Naruto did not know if it was tears of joy or sorrow. He didn't know. However, Naruto was never one to see a woman crying and not have it pull at his heartstrings. As Naruto reached to hug her, the moment his arm touched her, she jumped and wrapped her arms around him. Now Naruto was laying on his back, bewildered, the crying blonde on top of him, as he slowly tried to wrap his arms around her once again, and he was successful. Thus he just lay there with a crying Samu on top of him, and baby sleeping away. To say that Naruto was a bit uncomfortable was an understatement, as he was in the middle of the street, as he didn't expect this. Hinata was not aware of what was going on, and she was pissed. Her mind was bringing up dreadful things, even cursing in her head. Who the hell does that bitch think she is, lying on top of her Naruto like that? As she started to mentally curse badly. As Naruto lay there. He just lie there. Samu, he said. As she started to move on top of him. As Naruto was confused, until a hand grabbed her hair. Come on, get up, you horny grandma. A familiar voice said as she lifted up Samu off Naruto. It was Martha, back from wherever she went. Damn it, woman, Samu said. We were so close. We don't have time for this. Lady Empress wished all four of us to meet her at the hospital. As she gazed down at the still confused Naruto. Samu sighed in defeat. Fine, she said. As Martha grabbed Naruto by the leg and started to pull him towards the hospital. Who still found the whole thing just weird. Both Ami and Tenten had to back away from Hinata, as that bitch was just humping her boyfriend. She was moving on top of him. Well, he wasn't her boyfriend, but Naruto-kun was hers. And who the hell was that bitch? Tenten and Ami had never seen Hinata this mad before. She snapped her head towards Tenten, as the girl backed away. Tenten, yeah? Give me every book you got, said Hinata. Moments later, Naruto decided to ask a question as he was now walking. Hey, Martha, he said. As he wanted a straight answer, not a sexual response out of Samu. How do you tell the difference between symbiotes? I mean after they've taken a host and all. I know that you can tell by their skin color, but that's it. As she looked down towards him. Very good, Lord Venom. We did not think that you know that much. Naruto frowned a bit at the lack of expectation she had for his intelligence. Well, as you said, the easiest way to tell is the skin color. No two symbiotes are colored exactly the same. Another way to tell is that every symbiote has a unique design on their body or external feature on their form. You mean like your forehead blades and Samu, extra mouth, said Naruto. You won't see them again, she said. Samu fully intended to show Naruto her chest once again. Later, Martha said, interrupting, as Naruto was too embarrassed to say anything. Yes, exactly like our blades. and payback breasts. Can you guess Lady Empress extras? Martha asks in an out of character, playful tone. Given that she was always serious, it was different. Her hair feeler, said Naruto, as he had saw those things on her head twitch. Correct. Do you wish to know what yours is? Naruto nodded. Well, Lord Venom, your feature is a large symbol on your chest and on your back as well, Martha said. Is that it? Naruto asked. So far, said Martha. What do you mean so far? Naruto asked. Samu took over. This time she was speaking like a instructor at the academy. We explained this to you a few hours ago. Each symbiote in existence has several stages of transformation they can go through. We do not exactly know what caused the transformation, be it physical or mental distress, or great emotional jolt, fighting, feeding, or doing something random. The maximum number of transformations a symbiote can go through is unknown as well, but the most that has been reported is around 10. All of the transformation, new features add on to the symbiote is based on their different individuality. However, your case is different. Different how? Samu giggled. We'll tell you only if you promise to do something for us. As she giggled once again. What do we have to do? Said Naruto. We'll tell you if you agree to do it, Samu said. I have no idea what she will make us do. Chances are we're not gonna like it, said Naruto. But you really want to know? Fine, said Naruto. Samu squealed in a fangirl fashion. Now, you promise, right? Samu said. Naruto nodded his head defeatedly, still having no idea what she wanted. However, she simply went quiet as they continued on, leaving a rather pissed off Naruto. Aren't you gonna tell me? Said Naruto. She just looked at him with a smile. He sighed once again. Can you at least tell me how you transform? Martha stepped in. She was pleasuring herself. Naruto's face turned immediately red. Several images assault his mind. Ever since these girls got in his life, well, his thoughts had become more and more unpleasant. As he started to see things that made his face turn so red, he felt like he was about to pop, as blood came from his nose as he had to wipe it away. Naruto glanced towards Samu as she was holding her cheeks with her hand, blushing, her hips swaying, as she was now acting shy. Naruto, she said, don't look at us like that. Huh? Said Naruto rather confused. Lord Venom is very dirty for asking Payback to do such a dirty thing in public. Naruto was confused as Martha explained. Lord Venom, Payback is simply trying to get into your pants faster by acting inexperienced and shy. Damn it, Martha, said Samu. As she returned back to her normal state, it almost worked. He was thinking about it. She then sighed. As Martha said, we were pleasuring ourselves to the image of Lord Venom taking our body. As Naruto blushed once again. And then we transform. We will give you a demonstration later if you would like. Blood shot from Naruto's nose once again, as Samu started to laugh as he arrived at the hospital. Strangely enough, as they moved to the hospital, Naruto realized that he had not seen a single other soul inside the building as they moved. There was no one else here. He could remember that every time he was here, whether it be from another beating from the villagers or someone attacked him, there was always nurses or people moving and talking about, or just the hum or beeping of the medical equipment. But this time it was so quiet, as Baby was awake as they moved to the hospital. What really caught his attention though was the redecorated third floor of the building. To put it bluntly, it looked like a floor from Hell Hospital. All of the paint on the wall had peeled away. It looked like a horror show. What appeared to be rust or blood covered most of the wall and floors. The windows were broken and covered in rust. Naruto tried to look outside of one of them, and all he saw was pitch black darkness, and there wasn't a single sound that could be heard. Looking up, the entire ceiling was different. Unstring wires and rust all over. However, it was the doors. The doors had blood-soaked human skin complete, with human face stretched across them, and nailed to each door. Some of them had the skin of man, others the skin of woman. All doors had number carved into them in the flesh that was bleeding and leaking on the floor. As Naruto stood there shocked, he felt like emptying his stomach. However, he just walked. As Payback counted the rooms until he reached 312. As Martha reached out and grabbed the fleshy doorknob without any hesitation and opened the door, a sudden rush of cold, rotten flesh hit Naruto rather violently. He turned green as he stumbled back. Before he shook his head, seeing the other two step in, he went inside, baby on his shoulder as he moved in. Everything was broken, rusted, debilitated. One of the monitors were broken into two pieces, yet it was still working and showing static on it. As Naruto saw the gurney inside the room, something was on top of the gurney. It was a bloody, shapeless corpse on top of the sheets. The only thing that was kept in a good condition was the clean white bed that they had brought with them. As Naruto walked over towards it, "Hello there." A voice spoke from behind the bed, scaring the living crap out of the blonde, as it revealed that it was Empress, as Annette shifted into her symbiote form. "We are glad that you were all able to make it," she said. Naruto was about to speak, but she cut him off. "We are glad that you asked." Despite he did not say anything, she seemed to read his mind or something. "All that you see is something our beloved daughter, Nightmare, has created. She has taken a host that has strong psychic abilities that amplify them when they bonded together. What you see is a completely different dimension that our daughter has created, that she has complete control over. It's called Otherworld. The reason look the way that it does, it has to do with our daughter's accident and her distrust with humans. She can take any inanimate objects that exist in the real world and create it in Otherworld and alter it to her liking. Our daughter is unable to copy living beings, so she brings living matter into this world to do as she sees fit. While inside Otherworld, Nightmare can see into a person's mind and create monsters, ghosts, and anything that person thinks is horrifying. In other words, she's able to create an individual, personal hell. The monsters are twisted into the personal nightmares along with the environment. Naruto could not help to wonder why he was getting lectured so much in the past few hours. However, he shifted as the body on the gurney suddenly twitched. Naruto stepped back as the figure rose and stepped towards one of the cabinets. It opened the cabinet and pulled out a row of bandages. Naruto watched as the bleeding figure moved towards Nightmare's bed and disappeared behind the curtain. Naruto glanced towards Empress, who chuckled lightly. That would be our daughter's latest victim. He was an idiotic doctor who thought he could dare to touch our child. When the bastard moved the curtain, Nightmare sent him here and turned him into her own personal doctor. Nightmare told us that he was the head doctor of the facility or something. As the head doctor came back out and spread himself out on the gurney. Not anymore, she said with a chuckle. Nightmare said that she would love to meet Lord Venom's new host. Naruto took a moment before he stepped forward. As he paused, glancing on the curtain, someone noticed his hesitation. Don't worry, Naruto. Nightmare would not think of harming a fellow symbiote, but we would advise you not to vomit when see her. It will make her cry. Someone whispered into his ear. This did not calm Naruto's system. As Naruto opened the curtain, in front of him was the most horrifying sight that any symbiote anyone could ever witness. As he stood there, the girl looked to be no older than 6. However, her entire body was burned beyond recognition. Her skin looked like it was made from charcoal. Several pieces chipped off her. Her chest slowly moving up and down as she took in air. Her hair had been burned off, leaving her head bare for all to see. Her forehead and cheeks had another pair of eyes, totaling up to 6. Her lips had been melted together, nearly sealing off her entire mouth. With every breath she took, she released a groan of agonizing pain, it seems like. Red lines on her arms and her legs and her neck. The lines seemed like something was holding her tightly as she was burned. A large gash had opened her body, revealing organs inside that were charred and burned as well. The only organ not burned was her large intestines, which was currently waving in the air like a symbiote's tentacle. As he took note of the bandages that the doctor had placed on her form, they had already turned a sickly yellow. 3 of her eyes were open as she looked Naruto up and down. The corners of her lip curved up into a smile as the tentacles wrapped around Naruto 3 times. "Aw," Empress said. "That is so sweet. Our darling Nightmare wants to give Lord Venom a hug." As the tentacles wrapped around Naruto, he glanced up. "We don't want to be rude, but why did you show me your beautiful daughter?" He had to put in the beautiful in case he offended her. "And what happened to her?" Empress chuckled. "Both us and our daughter appreciate your compliment. The reason why we had revenge and payback bring you here was to introduce you to our daughter and her amazing powers. and to make sure you know that one of your future teammates would be on your training team. Something happened next that confused Naruto as his hand came up and slammed his chest. We will graduate from the academy and we will protect your child with our very life. We will make sure no harm come to her, Naruto said in a strong, powerful tone. Empress smiled. Very good. It seems like your bonding with Lord Venom has progressed, a little more than we thought. She gazed down. Would it be okay if we tell Lord Venom? Nightmare, she asked. Nightmare turned her head towards her mother slowly, as it seems that bits of her neck fell off as she nodded her head slowly. Very well then, Empress said as she cleared her throat. The event that caused my daughter's condition happened a few hundred years ago. 736 to be exact. As Naruto wondered if he heard that correctly. 736 years ago? As she continued, the young girl that my daughter bonded with was the only individual in a small community with psychic abilities, and she was feared by her neighbors before she was even introduced to Nightmare. Her name was Alessa Gillespie. The adults there told their children to humiliate her and harm the girl as much as possible. The adults of the town would attack her whenever they could. On some occasions she was assaulted and nearly beaten to death, but none of them attempt to kill her because they fear of releasing the devil onto the world. As he listened to the tale, Naruto's hand gripped her intestine that was still wrapped around him. Her mother, though, was the worst of them all. She would do everything she could to make her daughter's life a living hell, from something simple like ignoring her cry for help, or not feeding her for a long time. We had been observing her for a long time while scouting out potential hosts for my daughter. We had been pregnant with her at the time and was near birth. We witnessed the girl perform several psychic abilities and wonder what would be the effects of bonding with a symbiote would have on her powers. After a few days we gave birth to Nightmare and we were able to stow her away in the girl's closet in the middle of the night. The next morning you can guess what happened. She chuckled as the memory of her daughter attaching to the girl pulling her to the closet flashed through her mind. Anyways, after they bonded, the girl's power increased beyond anything that we could ever imagine. As you can see now, the power that she wields, ranging from creating other worlds to changing and reforming living matters to whatever she desires. It is in fact Nightmare's very power that shields our home from any that wish to find our secrets or do our kind any harm. Realizing she got a bit off topic, she cleared her throat as she got back to the story. Well, anyhow, after she joined Alessa's life, it did not change much. The townfolk still hated her until that fateful night. Her symbiotic hands clenched the bed sheet. A group of demon slayers, calling themselves the Order, came to town. Upon their arrival, several villagers informed them of Alessa and her abilities. Being the bastards that they were, they took her daughter to the town temple and tied her to a religious symbol using rusted barbed wire. Then, Empress lowered her head as she clutched her fist tight. They burned her, suddenly screaming, and hot flames could be heard throughout the hospital. You have no idea how happy we are that your daughter Scream had been passing by at the time. She used her unique ability to clear out the fire and save our Nightmare. Unfortunately, the Order members involved had fled, and we were never able to locate them, Empress said. Naruto wondered who was Scream, and did she say his daughter? However, his eyes focused on Nightmare. As he stepped forward, Nightmare, he said, making a promise before he even knew. We promise that we will find every last single member of the Order, and we will make them pay for what they have done. As the rest of the members in the room had a happy smile on their face, the merging between their lord and Naruto was going well. Now then, we think it's about time that Nightmare goes to bed. You too, Naruto, Empress said. Naruto looked up towards Empress. What? You are still a child, and children need their sleep, so they have enough energy to grow into our powerful Lord Venom, said Empress. And Samu said, if you're good on the way home, you can use our breasts as marshmallow pillows. As she lifted her chest with her hands, as Naruto rushed through the door as fast as possible, a blush on his face, making Samu chuckle. After arriving back to his apartment, Naruto insists that they take his bed and he sleep on the couch, but they would not hear a word of it. Martha slept on his right, while Samu slept on the left as Baby slept on top of Naruto's chest. The next morning, Naruto awoke to see naked Samu and Martha on both his left and right, as Baby was on his chest. However, Baby was the one that concerned him. With the amount of time that Baby had jumped in his arm last night, Naruto had felt how heavy the creature was, but now, it felt so much lighter. Unfortunately, as Naruto tried to raise his head to see why baby felt so light, Samu latched onto his neck and started to suck on his flesh. As Naruto simply lay there, not knowing what to do. However, Marta's eyes open up. Good morning, Lord Venom. We hope you slept well, and that you were not molested by our cousin. The blunt and emotional way that she said that almost made Naruto laugh. Almost. As Marta got up and she saw what Samu was doing. Samu, she said. Samu jumped up and she looked around. What? She said, looking around. As she wiped the drool from her mouth and the sleep from her eyes. As she pointed towards Naruto's chest where baby was. Naruto got up as baby rolled off his chest. As Naruto was shocked as the thing dropped. It sounded heavy, however. The nucleus and everything inside was missing. It was like a shell that had been opened and released. From what Naruto saw last night, he could only imagine what someone was going through. As he turned towards her, however, she was grinning. Samu's body was now a tough shell that seemed to be cracked open, and yet she was grinning. Samu, said Naruto confused. She tackled him into a hug, causing him to fall right off the bed. Marta moved in just in time as Naruto crashed on the floor. As she pulled herself up and placed her hand on his face. We're so happy. But, baby is... As Samu looked to where Naruto was pointing. Sweet Venaru, she said, with a smile on her face. As she was combining his name with Venom, calling him Venaru. You see, our baby has shed its shell. We assume that absorbing all the energy out of that one Uchiha must have given baby the power to grow into its next form, into its evolutionary path. Okay, if that's true. Where did baby go, said Naruto. It was sleeping on me last night, and I don't think it wants to be too far away from its mama or papa. Naruto said that without thinking, as he just called himself Papa. Samu took his statement as a future proposal. As Naruto got up when something flew into him and knocked him back down to the floor. As Naruto grabbed the thing, it was baby. Its membrane had changed from green to a dull grey, and the size got bigger. It hadn't really changed that much. As Naruto patted on the head and told that everything was fine, as baby was all over him. Time skip. After they had eaten for the day, and dressed accordingly. Samu clapped her hands because tomorrow is when we're going to leave. And we have a few more hours before Venaru go to the academy. We propose that we start to teach Venaru how to use his symbiotic abilities. Do you agree, Cousin Marta? Marta sipped on her tea. If it involves you and our Lord doing it like rabbits, then we are not in. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time to make love today. Only train, Samu said in a disappointed tone. Then we shall accompany you, Marta said. Good. Venaru, are you ready? Naruto was not paying attention. Huh? Excellent, said Samu. Her arm morphed into a gigantic blade as she swiped at Naruto. Naruto instantly threw himself out of the way. What the hell, he yelled as he got back to his feet. She swiped once again and she cut the kitchen table in two. As Marta sat there, sipping her tea like nothing had happened. As Samu kept on swiping at Naruto. You are doing great, Naruto, Samu said as she stopped. What? Said Naruto. Have you not realized that you have been dodging every one of my attacks? My attacks are too random for any normal, chocolate individual to track, and yet none of them has touched you, she said. Now that Naruto had a moment to think, he realized that he was able to dodge each and every one of them. It was like his body was moving automatic. That is just a small bit of the power that Lord Venom can provide for you, and you two haven't even fully bonded yet. Can you imagine the power you will have when you finally can control our Lord? She spoke in an enthusiastic tone. You will be unstoppable, she said. Now, let's go. As Naruto's eyes widened as she swiped at him once again. Meanwhile, outside the hidden village, just in the forest, I wanna go home. A tall white figure, the voice echoed in its mind. The figure was perched outside, in a tree, looking down towards a massive gateway. The construction crew has been working non-stop to get the gateway fixed from what happened with the Lord Symbiote. They just finished painting it some hours ago. Patience, young one. After we remove the evil that is Venom from this earth, we shall return to your loving family. If he is still as mentally destroyed as he was in our last meeting, then this fight shall not last long. Anti-Venom responded to its hosts. He looked towards the village gate and the two guards that were standing there. A smile formed on Anti-Venom's lips. He jumped down and caught the attention of the two guards. Halt! State your name and your business within Konoha. Anti-Venom approached the gate. As both of them got into ninja stance, seeing that Venom was not stopping, his white skin and build gave the guards the impression that he was Orochimaru in a terrible disguise, or some freak in a suit. However, Anti-Venom stopped and bowed his head. I am Anti-Venom. I was hired by the Hokage to hunt down and exterminate an unspecified evil that has been terrorizing your village. I don't remember being told about this, one of the guards said to his partner. The other guard shrugged his shoulder. These guys were there as punishment for something that they done on the field that got them booted down to gate guard duty. And one thing about them was, well, they hated Naruto. The two adults, as the other one looked toward his friend, maybe the Hokage decided to get rid of the demon brat without placing any blame on any one of his shinobis. The other one stepped forward. Do you have the proper paperwork, Anti-Venom? No, I do not. But if you can take me to the Hokage, it should not be a problem, Anti-Venom said. The other guard looked towards the other guard and whispered something. Fine. You can accompany me, and we can see if your story checks out. However, you'll have to remain on the outside. That would be fine. Follow me, as the guard stepped off. The other one remained in the booth. That is when the guard turned, feeling something strange. What the hell? Anti-Venom was gone. On top of the roof a distance away. I'm coming for you, Anti-Venom said, as it shot from rooftop to rooftop. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see next person do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notifications they posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in social media platform. But I'm over now, see you guys soon. Peace, guys.